Hey guys, today I'll be surviving 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore, and for some of you guys that are confused, my other world got deleted, so I decided to take a fresh restart and try out another one. Day 1 started out as any other day would start out, but wasn't really the best spawn, I'd say, but as per usual, I went to go find a village. While I was in the desert, I did manage to find a sand temple, or desert temple, whichever one you want to call it, but it probably had the worst loot ever. After exploring for a bit, I managed to find a village, and I found this oak one, and it was gigantic. Like, it was one of the biggest villages I think I've ever seen. On day 2, after roaming around for a strangely long amount of time, I finally decided where I was going to build my house. After getting a good amount of andesite, I decided to use that as the floor. And I pretty much just spent the rest of the day just gathering materials to finish building my house. By day 3, I still hadn't finished my house, but I was almost done. All I really needed was the roof and the walls. But while I was waiting for the cobblestone to smelt, I decided to go in and make an area for my farm just because I've been needing that really soon. On day 4, as any normal Minecraft player would do, I stole the plants from the villager farm and put them on mine. I also went ahead and made an area where my mine would be within my house, even though my house was still not finished. And I don't know what I'm doing. Am I dead? Day 5 and I'm alive. Sorry to disappoint some of you guys. After I finally finished with the walls, all I really needed to do was the roof, and I decided to use some oak stairs and slabs. Yes, I use slabs. We already know this by now. I've seen the hundreds of comments telling me I'm obsessed with slabs. It's today's materials. Don't judge me. On day 6, I started to go in and do a project that will take the next couple of days, and that was to create a nice little area to where I'll be trading with my villagers. And as we all know, any good build that I do, I did not create, so I'll leave a link to this build in the description. Now, I will say the only reason this took as long as it did is because it requires spruce logs and not planks, so it does take a bit longer. The easiest part of all of this was actually just getting leaves, because all you need is shears, and then they go by really fast. I also decided to expand it for, well, obvious reasons. I don't want to only hold like 2 villagers. By day 9, I finally finished the villager trading area, but there was a slight issue. Didn't really have a villager farm, so I probably should have done that first, actually, just for now. On day 10, I made 2 of the villagers into Fletchers just because they could trade emeralds for sticks, which is a good way to get emeralds. But other than that, I didn't do much for the rest of day 10. All I did was pretty much chop down the trees and work on my farm. On day 11, I found out an area where I was going to go in and start building my villager trading area, which is where I'd breed the villagers and use them to get jobs. Now, this build won't take too long, mainly because I just used spruce and I had a lot of spruce logs, so this is a pretty fast build. I also went ahead and started making a sugarcane farm just because, well, I need it for paper, for books, or even fireworks. Day 12 came around, I still didn't finish my villager breeding area, but don't worry, I'd finish it today. I guarantee you guys are going to probably see a lot of clips of me breaking down spruce trees. That's just because, hey, it's like the best wood, I think. Well, like the second best, but whatever. On day 13, I finally got some villagers in my breeding area, and the algorithm seemed excited. I don't know, dude was going in circles. After a bit of time, I got around 3 to 4 villagers in there and wanted to go in and go farm some carrots because that was going to be my way of feeding them. I don't really eat carrots anyways, so it was fine. But for some reason, they were collecting the carrots, but they weren't actually breeding. You know, you'd see the heart particles to know it worked, and it wasn't working. But eventually, I'd fix it. On day 14, it was more of the same, chopping down the trees and trading with the Fletchers to stock up on some emeralds. I'll be honest, I don't know what the villager did here. I would assume it was just a bad trade, so I just dealt with it in the probably not the best way possible, but I don't know. On day 15, I'm not joking when I tell you this is all I did. I tried trading with the villagers. For some reason, they weren't accepting the trades. They were doing it with any other thing other than the lectern. I don't know why. Villagers are pieces of the whole day. Again, I spent just trying to trade with the villager, and it didn't work. I don't know why it's doing this to me. Surprisingly enough, day 16, the same thing. It still wasn't working, so I spent a bit of time just trying to trade with them, trying to do something to get it to work. But in the end, I just gave up and made a little trading area right by my villager breeding area. So it was way easier to transport them there, and it just saved me so much time and effort. On day 17, I spent a bit more time on my farm, and I wanted to expand it a bit, just because the way I had it now, it wasn't terrible, but I still wanted to have a bit more room to plant carrots and wheat. Although this wandering trader kept stepping on my farm, and I was so close to just killing him. But other than that, I was able to get 2 sheep and trap them in a little dirt area so I could make a farm for them later. By day 18, like I said, I finished the fence area so the sheep had a big enough area to breed and all that, so I won't have to worry about grass running out, because if you guys didn't know, you need grass in order for sheep to grow wool whenever you shear them. I went ahead and also replaced the floor in the villager breeding area with dirt just because I felt like they weren't breeding because of the flooring. I don't really know if this makes a difference at all, but I just decided to do it anyways. On day 19, I started trading with the villagers, and I actually got Fortune 3, which is really good, and I was really happy to get it. I also went ahead and started building a mining area just because, well, I don't even think I had full iron, and I definitely didn't have any diamonds, so I think it was about time to make a mine. And it was actually really good because I found a mine shaft, and it had plenty of iron, and I was just really happy because it's easier to find iron in caves than in just go strip mining for it. But guess what? I was lucky enough while I was strip mining to find a different part of the cave that actually had diamonds, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so good at Minecraft. I'm just absolutely insane. So I used the diamonds to craft a pickaxe, but I didn't put the fortune enchant on my pickaxe yet just because I was going to wait to get all the other enchants, just like efficiency, unbreaking, and mending. And as per usual, for the rest of day 20, I didn't do much other than chop down spruce trees. But on day 21, I went back down to the mine to get some more iron just because I didn't have enough. But I was actually very lucky because I managed to find diamonds whilst mining for iron, and I was like, oh, this is... It's not scripted, guys. But I didn't want to mine the diamonds yet until I had my really good pickaxe, so I just left them there. Eventually, I did have enough iron to get an anvil, which was really useful because that would be the way I'd mainly enchant all my weapons and armor. On day 22, I decided to continue moving some villagers into my trading area that's right by my breeding area, just because I am completely lazy and I do not want to move them all the way from one point to another. Yes, I am legitimately that lazy. After a bit of time, I was finally able to get Unbreaking 3, which is not really the enchant I wanted, but honestly, I'd take it just because it's a really good enchant, although it did take a lot of emeralds. And the only way to get emeralds is by trading sticks with the Fletcher, and I didn't have like any wood. I don't know where it all went, so I just had to, get some new ones. After trading a decent amount with the Fletcher, I finally had enough emeralds to get an Unbreaking 3 book. After I went ahead and put that on my diamond pickaxe, I went back down to the mine to get some diamonds. And let me tell you guys, this fortune pickaxe is really good. As you can see, I have 17 diamonds, which is a pretty healthy amount. Not enough for full diamond armor, but I was almost there. But I had to go back down because I realized it's day 23 and I still haven't gone to the nether yet. So I went ahead and got some obsidian and went to build a portal. Now, I will say that my nether spawn wasn't terrible, but there was no bastions or fortress around, which really sucked. I was hoping I'd spawn right by a fortress so I wouldn't have to go anywhere. But, no, that wasn't the case. But after exploring for a bit, I did manage to find a bastion, although I honestly would prefer a fortress. But who knows, it could have pig step in it. Gotta be honest, though, these chests kinda sucked. Gold, iron, and golden carrots and all that. It's stuff I could already have. So it wasn't anything special. But I did find 2 other chests with ancient debris in it. So honestly, you know what? I'd take it. And by the time I got home, it was already night. So I decided to go ahead and sleep. Day 25 was a bit more of like a simple routine I usually do. And that was making sure my farm was okay and chopping down some spruce trees. I also went ahead and placed more beds in my villager breeding area for obvious reasons. More villagers means I need more beds. On day 26, I decided to go back into the mines and try to get enough diamonds for full diamond armor just because I didn't have enough yet and I wanted to have full diamond armor with full diamond tools. And I gotta say, it did take me a while, but eventually I did find some diamonds, but it was an air lava pool, so I gotta watch out because, most diamonds like to be hovering around lava and you could die. And by the end of day 26, while putting a villager in my trading area, I managed to have full diamond armor. On day 27, I enchanted all my diamond armor with prop 4, which I got from a villager. And I spent the rest of the day getting a lot of beds, and not for my villager breeding place, but actually so I could go find ancient debris in the nether. So for the next 2 days, I spent my time in the nether trying to find ancient debris. Don't know how I didn't lose my sanity. For most of the time, it's honestly just me destroying beds and hoping to find ancient debris. Gotta say, didn't find as much as I hoped to, in the beginning at least. Although I was very lucky, at one point I did find some ancient debris hiding on the roof. I'm really lucky I looked up, because if not, I would have completely passed that. But in all honesty, there wasn't really that much. I was expecting to find a lot more than I initially did, but the only thing I really found was gravel and nether quartz, which I really don't need. But I was in luck because I did actually find some more ancient debris. And even some more ancient debris. I was actually getting pretty good luck. And surprisingly enough, I found even 2 more ancient debris. I was getting really excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I actually might get enough for full netherite armor. But eventually by day 30, I had 14 ancient debris and only had 1 bed left, although there was a lot of lava around. By day 31, I went back to my home and I smelted all the ancient debris that I had, including the ones I found at the bastion, meaning I had enough for full netherite armor. And eventually, I got full netherite armor. Haha. Let's go. After finally getting full netherite, I decided to go back to mining wood because, yeah, I need more of it. But by the end of day 32, I had enough emeralds to get looting 3 and and I'm breaking 3 on a diamond sword. Day 33, I decided that, you know what, it was finally time to try to find another fortress. You know, I wanted to kill the ender dragon as soon as possible because I also wanted to try to get an elytra on this 100 days. So yeah, I went to go ahead and try to find a fortress. After a bit of time, I thought I saw something in a distance. When I went to go over there, there was actually the fortress down there. I thought it was a bit further up ahead because I thought I saw what was nether bricks, but I guess not. So obviously, using my looting 3 sword, it was pretty easy to get blaze rods. So it didn't take me that long to get them all. So after getting the blazes no, why did I say that? Oh my god, it's the second time. Anyways, I had to deal with some issues on the way back, but it wasn't too bad. These hoglins, they're pretty stupid. By the time I got back, it was day 34, so I decided to go into the cave and try to kill some endermen. Now, I will say, endermen didn't spawn as much as I thought they would, so it did take me 2 days to kill as much as I needed to. But then again, I didn't have to kill too much because I had looting 3 on my sword. After getting all the ender pearls I needed, I went back up to the surface to make eyes of ender so I could finally go kill the ender dragon, get my plan. I'm not dead, guys. Don't worry. On day 36, after getting everything I needed, it was time to go find the stronghold. So I went adventuring, although I gotta say, it was pointing towards the ocean. Wasn't too happy about that. But yeah, to my surprise, it was actually really close. I think it was only like 700 blocks away, but yeah, the stronghold was actually underwater. Gotta say, it did take me a bit to find the portal, but I was actually really lucky I found it because I was almost about to go insane. Oh, good thing I realized this because I was not recording, but luckily I started recording right after I got to the end. And was in a bit of trouble. As you can see, I do not have that many blocks, and it's pretty far away, so I was like, oh no. So after I used my enchanted bow I got from the Fletcher and started taking down all the... Actually, I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna just call them obsidian towers. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to kill the ender dragon, I'll be honest. I mean, full netherite, good diamond tools, although I didn't have sharpness 5 yet, so I feel like this could have gone way faster. But thanks to my bow, it did go by pretty fast. As you can see here, all I really need to do is hit with my sword once, and boom, I killed the ender dragon. And obviously, we can't forget the dragon egg, so I went and got that too. And yeah, the credits. In all my years of playing Minecraft, which is a decent amount, I don't think I've ever watched through it all. I see no point. On day 37, I focused a bit more on my villagers just because I realized that I wasn't really running out per se, but I wanted more. And yeah, I guess that was it for that day. I don't know why I'm typing wah. For the next couple of days, I wanted to go exploring to find a jungle biome. Mainly because if you guys know, trading melons with villagers, well, specifically farmers, I'd say, that can get you a really good amount of emeralds. Now, I will say, while it did take me a decent amount of time, it didn't take me as long as I wanted to. It only took me 3 days to get there. Typically, if I was going the wrong way, who knows how long it could have been. But eventually I got to the point where the water was a bit like more of like a light bluish, and I knew that meant that there was probably a jungle biome nearby, and there actually was. It was literally like right across. And I did spend too much time there because I only really needed 2 things, just some bamboo and melon. I really didn't need anything else. I didn't want to get pandas yet because I really didn't have a plan for them, and it would be really difficult. So after got all the stuff I needed, I headed back home, and again, it didn't take me too long just because I knew exactly where my home was. So yeah, obviously it would take me less time. And right after I got back to my base, I wanted to start making my melon farm because I wanted to start trading with the farmers as soon as possible. Now, I gotta say, this isn't my biggest melon farm, but then again, I'm barely starting out with it. I don't need to make it gigantic. And yeah, by day 44, I have finished my melon farm. And what I do is whenever I have enough melon seeds, I just add on to the farm whenever need be. On day 45, I started getting materials to make splash potions of harming so I could use them on zombie villagers. And more specifically, actually, I'm gonna use my farmers, turn them into zombie villagers, and then heal them, and that would make it to where 1 melon equals 1 emerald, so I'll be raking in those emeralds, boy. And the time couldn't have been perfect. After making my pretty crappy dome, it was starting to turn to night, which was perfect because I needed to get a zombie. And it was actually pretty easy. A zombie spawned close by, so all I had to do was lure it in. I didn't have to worry about damage because I had prot 4 and full netherite, so I didn't have to worry at all. And by day 46, I already had a villager in there, and it worked perfectly. So it was a zombie villager now. All I need to do was separate them and then change them back into a normal villager. And thanks to the wonderful world of achievements, I knew exactly whenever the villager got healed. And it was time to do another villager because I wanted more than 1 farmer. And by day 48, I had 2 farmers that were turned into zombies, and then I healed them. Although one of them wasn't maxed out all the way, but one of them was, so I was still getting some emeralds. On day 49, I started doing a build that I think I've done in every single 100 days that I've ever done, and that was this really simple iron golem farm. Honestly, really big shout out to Mr. Cat. This thing is insanely efficient and really good. And the one thing I also love about this build is that it requires no zombies. Usually Iron Golem farmers require zombies, but this one doesn't, and it still works really good. And you can see an Iron Golem already spawned. I haven't even finished my build yet. Luckily I was able to get the walls up before it walked out because, you know, it's about to be my first victim. And there we go, I had a fully fledged Iron Golem farm. On day 53, I wanted to get efficiency just because I realized that I didn't have that on my pickaxe, and I really did. And yeah, the whole day I just spent doing this, and I didn't get it at all. I'm not joking. I didn't get efficiency at all. It was stupid. On day 54, I chopped down some of my melons, and yeah, I mean, it was going pretty well. I mean, my melon farm expanded a decent amount. Not all the way, but almost. I also decided to get some mending books and put it on my armor just because it was getting really low in durability. The next day, I wanted to go back to the stronghold to make a nether portal there, so what I could do is I could travel through the nether to the stronghold, which would take less time. After I got some obsidian from the obsidian towers in the end, I went ahead and decided to make the nether portal, and I was actually surprised. It was really close to the bridge I made to the fortress, so all I had to do was build up to that, and there we go. I bet you guys know what enchant I'm trying to get right now. Yep, efficiency. Just efficiency in general. I was down to the point where, you know what, if efficiency 1 popped up, I would have gotten it. I was just so upset. I was like, why does this happen to me? On day 57, I started to expand my melon farm because if you guys know, I really like my melon farms big, like really big. But by that point I was bored, so I decided to go find an elytra. So I used an ender pearl and got through the portal thing. I really don't know what it's called, and as you guys could probably tell, this took me 3 days to find. Yeah, there was a lot of bridging involved, and it was not fun. Okay, let me tell you, when you just see the abyss right down below, you get very tense. And yeah, it was like 2 stacks of these blocks, just me bridging across the abyss. It was horrible, and I gotta say, I probably took some very risky ender pearls. Probably shouldn't have done that. But yeah, finally by day 61, I found the glimpse of what was an end ship and went up to go get my elytra. And yeah, after I got my elytra, I explored the end city a bit. There wasn't too much stuff, I'll be honest. But yeah, after that, I started to head back. Now, I will say it didn't take me too long to get back, but I did get lost in some areas. So it only took me 2 days though to get back. So it wasn't too bad. So this may not seem like it, but I managed to pause the recording, but I didn't pause the game, so whenever I left, yeah, it was running. Luckily, I caught it in time, so not too much time passed by. I think only 3 days passed by. Again, I don't know for sure. I was just glad to catch it in time. On day 68, my search to still find efficiency, I got sharpness 5. I'm sorry, efficiency, but sharpness 5 is just way better. I also continued to breed my villagers, even though there's probably way more villagers than beds. Day 69. Was absolutely horrible. Yep, still try to get efficiency. Didn't. I swear I'm about to kill this villager. I didn't because I realized that would be gruesome. Although it very much deserved it. On day 70, I finally got the enchants I needed to put on my elytra, which was mending and breaking. The only 2 enchants you actually can have it on an elytra. And I will say I wasn't able to fly yet just because I didn't have rockets, which did suck. But other than that, on day 71, I finally got efficiency. Now, gotta say, it was efficiency 3. Kind of wanted 4 or even 5, but you know what? I'll take it. It's been like so long since I've gotten efficiencies that I'm just gonna take it. On day 72, I started a build that would take a decent amount of time, and that was a cool like end build that I saw that I wanted to build conveniently in the end. Now, it would take a decent amount of materials such as birch fences, and now it does use dark oak, but I decided to just use spruce just because it was more convenient for me, and a crazy amount of endstone bricks. Luckily, you could just get endstone bricks from endstone, and you guys can see this time lapse of me getting a lot of endstone just because, like I said, it required a lot, and I had some of the materials. I didn't realize I have all of them yet. You'll know that later. But yeah, I had some of the materials I needed to start building this really cool like castle thing. After I got a good amount of time building this, I realized that some of the materials I needed were in the end city, and I realized I was like, I already spent like a lot of time on this, so I decided, you know what, in my 200 days, I'll finish this. Trust me guys, don't worry, I will finish this in my 200 days. But in order to get to the end city way easier, I need a gunpowder farm, and I don't have a gunpowder farm, so I decided to make one. And I will say this is the first time I've made this type of creeper farm, just because in my last 100 days series, that one took me really long to make, but this one will take even longer, and I'll tell you why later. And actually, I'll tell you right now, after I finished building the whole farm, on day 86, I AFK'd the farm for a couple of days, and I went back down, nothing. No, nothing at all. I wasted almost 10 days on this thing that doesn't even work. I even tried correcting it. I tried changing things up. Still nothing. It was so frustrating. I was like, oh. Anyways, after that really disappointing outcome, I decided to build something that was a bit more practical and something that I know I couldn't mess up. And that was an automatic farm. Again, it was one of the things I did in my last 100 days series. And yeah, it was going to be an easy build, so there's no way I'd mess this up. After I got everything set up, all I really needed to do was get the dispensers, hoppers, and chests, and then also plant the carrots and wheat. And yeah, after that, I pretty much didn't do much for the last of the 5 days, but on day 95, I wanted to focus a bit more on my melon farm because it had grown a lot. So I decided to mine all of them and trade with my villagers to get those emeralds. And on days 96 to 97, I spent my time destroying my useless creeper farm. Yeah, God, I can't believe I wasted so much time on that. I couldn't tell you guys how frustrated I was when I realized that I spent so much time on this farm, and it was just like, haha, you're stupid. You really think this is gonna work? By day 98, my farm had fully grown. Well, not fully grown, but mostly grown. So I decided to test it out and see if it worked, and it did. For once in my life, something went the way I wanted it to. And on day 99, I didn't want to do much, so I decided to use the iron that I got from the iron golems, go 100 out of it, just for their noble sacrifice. And with that, the sun set on day 99, and it will soon be day 100. And yeah, it was day 100. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching all the way through this video. And again, I just want to say, I'm sorry I haven't posted like almost at all this month. Trust me, I will be trying to get back to posting once a week. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.